My partner wants me to sell my apartment because he doesn't want our child raised in a home purchased with money from my former job, though he never objected to my past career until I became pregnant. For several years, I worked as an exotic dancer. I'm not ashamed of it and only left when I landed a better job opportunity. During my time as a dancer, I lived frugally, small, rundown apartment, eating cheap meals, wearing second-hand clothes, because colleagues advised that saving aggressively could lead to owning property. Before leaving that job, I managed to buy a 3-bedroom apartment outright. I rented out the extra rooms for a while, but grew tired of roommates, so now I list them for short-term stays instead. I met my boyfriend about a year and a half ago, and we've been together since. He's aware of my work history and said he was fine with it, though he asked me to tell his family I was a server, a half-truth I sometimes use on my resume. A month ago, I discovered I'm 2 months pregnant. He was thrilled about the pregnancy and suggested we move in together. I assumed he'd move into my place since he rents a small 1-bedroom while I own a spacious 3-bedroom apartment with room for a nursery. Plus, I love my home and can't imagine leaving it. It's my apartment, my pride and joy, and I envision living here forever. I value the financial security of owning it outright and dread returning to monthly rent or mortgage payments. But he insisted he didn't want to live in my apartment and suggested I sell it so we could buy a place together. I explained how much the apartment means to me, representing years of hard work and sacrifice. He acknowledged my feelings, but maintained we should live together by the time the baby arrives, and he couldn't live in my apartment. When I asked why, it's centrally located, roomy, perfect for his belongings, with a daycare in the building run by another resident and a school nearby. He admitted he didn't want to live in a home bought with dancer money. That infuriated me, and I pointed out he never minded my dancer money before. I told him I wouldn't sacrifice the security of my home for someone trying to shame me for a past I'm not ashamed of. He argued that selling the apartment would allow us to buy a new place together. I asked how that was different from using dancer money, and he said it just was. When I pressed him, he left for his place, saying we couldn't talk when I was like this. He later texted, calling me overly emotional and irrational, urging me to think practically. He said he wouldn't feel right raising our child in my apartment, knowing how I bought it, and that it would never feel like our home since his name isn't on the deed. I'm starting to wonder if I'm wrong here. I understand why he might feel it's just my place and maybe I'm being too stubborn when we should be compromising. My sister agrees with him, so 2 out of 3 people think I'm mistaken. Am I wrong? Edit. For anyone reading, I ended the relationship. We had a long discussion, and he said he didn't want to be a parent unless I agreed to everything he wanted, including selling my apartment and sharing a new home's deed. I offered to sell and split a new place if he paid half, as some suggested, but he got furious fast. He said other things too, so I'm likely facing single motherhood. Update 1, I'm in England. I recently learned I'm pregnant. I can't use the pill or an implant for medical reasons, so we relied on condoms. I'm now 2 months pregnant with his child. I own my apartment and have a good job, while he runs a struggling startup and picks up agency work. We spoke. I can't tell you the full story in short. To watch the full story, click the related link below.